Wow, you all actually showed up. I saw that list of names and thought, oh, what did I get myself into now? I've been known to get myself into trouble, as my friends and family will tell you. Notorious for that. I'm Sheila. Hi. Yeah. Oh, howdy. There you go. I should have said howdy, y'all. I'm working on my Texas. I live just north of the border, in just outside of Vancouver, and it was quite a trek to get here. We were doing a session on Sunday, I think, and I was showing on the map where we live, and it was trying to calculate the route home. It's 3,000 kilometers home, which is a long way. I'm glad I'm not walking. That would have just been a heck of a long way to go. So yeah, I'm really happy to be able to come down here. This is my third ISTE. I was here in San Antonio in 2008, which seems like forever ago, and then I was in San Diego last year and then back here, and it's just awesome to be here. My job in Surrey is that of a curriculum helping teacher. I support numeracy and science K-12 in our 102 elementary schools, 19 secondary schools, and a couple of different learning centers, so all sorts of things. So I try to have my hands in lots of little pies, and next year I'm excited. I'm joining the technology, the team as well, so I'm going to cause some trouble with those people. Wait till they see what's going to hit them. So I'm also an Apple Distinguished Educator, which is a really cool thing to do. If you know any of the crazy people, I'm sorry. We're not a bunch of people, but we like to have fun, and having fun in Texas has been great. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is how in Surrey we started off by deploying a few iPads to curriculum helping teachers, and then it went crazy. There are thousands. We have thousands out in Surrey. And the thing is, when teachers get a hold of them, sometimes they really don't know what they're doing. They go on and they check their mail, and they're really good at that. And then they just go to the App Store and they start downloading the free stuff because, well, we're teachers and free is good. But they don't really think about why they're downloading them. And realistically, we're here to teach kids. You know, we want to engage kids. We want to teach them. We don't just necessarily want to put an electronic worksheet in front of them and say, here, you go over here and do that while I'm doing something else. So we really just want to get our kids engaged in teaching. I went to a school to try to do a meeting with a teacher, and I got stuck in traffic, so I was late. And I thought, how am I going to have this meeting with her? She's supposed to be working with this group of challenge kids. So I said, hey, guys, here's a new app. Put it on my iPad, put it down on the table. They said, how do we do it? I said, I don't know. It's brand new. Go for it. And they figured it out in just a few minutes. You know, they sat and cooperated. There's actually 4 kids. That arm does not belong to that head. It's a really bad picture, but they had a great time. And they figured it out. It's one of the apps that we're going to look at a little bit later on. But, you know, it's all about keeping kids engaged and challenging them. There's another app that I really enjoy playing that one of my colleagues dislikes because if you don't get it right, it says fail. And if you were at the keynote, Jane's keynote a couple of nights ago, talking about failure and going back and trying again, that's what it's about. You know, if they were always successful all the time, they'd be bored of this. This was quite a challenge for these guys. So I just did my master's in educational technology, and my graduating paper, I had to do a graduating paper, not a thesis, which was great. And so I looked at apps for math and science because I figured that's my job. I might as well tie in my job and my education at the same time. And so I thought, I'll develop a rubric. It'll be awesome. We'll look at all sorts of different things. And then I sat looking at that blank grid and thought, holy crumbs, what did you do now? That's too hard. So I went online and found this, which is by Kathy Schrock, whose session I was just at now. That's in the PDF that I sent you. So you don't have to worry about getting that, and there's no way you're going to be able to read it. But anyways, Kathy Schrock worked on it. Tony Vincent took it, massaged it a little bit, and it's awesome. And so that's one of the rubrics that I use. And when teachers ask me, you know, should I be using this app or not, I say, well, look at this, and then we'll have a talk about it. I try not to say this is a good app, this is a bad app, because depending what they're using it for, it could be a good app. There was, a couple of days ago, I had a discussion with a gentleman, and I was showing him an app, and I said, so what do you think? And he says, oh, this isn't good. I said, no, it's not. But it's... So the title of my graduating paper was actually called Apps and Craps, looking at the difference between good apps and bad apps. And this rubric will certainly help you determine which ones are good and which ones are not so good. And so the whole idea of the session was to show you a few and give you a chance to try them. How many early primary teachers are you? Yay, you're going to love these. They're so cool. Yeah. I taught grade 7, so I spent most of my time with 12 and 13-year-olds. These are not for 12 and 13-year-olds. Most 12 and 13-year-olds. Some might be entertained by them, but not most. Counting Bear. Counting Bear lets you, it puts different numbers of objects on, lets you touch type them, or touch them and count them. And you can change the language to multiple different languages, which is really kind of cool. This is all in the handout as well, so don't feel that you need to go, oh gosh. Yeah. So yeah, Counting Bear goes up to, I think, 10, maybe 20. And you can change the language, you can change the pictures, and you can have a lot of fun with it. So that's kind of cool. The next one is Candy Count. And because my children are adults now, and I didn't have access to a small child, I went and borrowed the neighbor's kid, who was 4 at the time, and I said, hey, try this out. What do you think? She loved it. You shake the iPad, it dumps out some counters. You have to sort the counters. You have to put them in order. You have to say which is more, which is less. Really cool things to help build early numeracy. And it got to be kind of the thing. There'll be this little knock on my front door. Sheila, can I play with your iPad? Yeah, okay, come on over. So that was kind of fun. The next one is Ladybug Count. And for little kids, we want them to be able to subitize number. That's when you can look at a number and know exactly how many it is. And so in Ladybug Count, it puts out ladybugs with different dot patterns on them, and you can count the dots, or you can put your fingers down on the dots, and it'll tell you what number it is. Okay, so that's really kind of cool. And then Finger Count does the same thing as Ladybug Count, but they're not ladybugs. Yeah, it's pretty spiffy. And the last one is Jungle Coins. In Canada, coins were, or money and counting money was moved in our curriculum, and it's not really an outcome anymore. But it's really important for kids to know how to make change, because when you go to McDonald's and you buy that ice cream cone, you want to get the right change back. And so in Jungle Coins, you can have it make change. You can have it compare different coins. All sorts of really important strategies for kids to learn about money. You can buy different kinds of money, because it is an American app. It defaults to American money. That doesn't work for us. Our money looks a little different than yours. And so for, I think it was $1.99 or whatever, you can buy the coins of your country. So if I was going to France, please, you could download French money and you could practice. So when you get there, you don't look quite so silly, think, is this really the right amount of change? So really cool apps for kids, very interactive. The kids do love them. The ones that I've tested this out with are really excited about using them. And their teachers like them because they're also cooperative. Ladybug Count and Finger Count support multi-touch, so you can actually play with more than one child at a time. So as they're working together, they can talk about the different ways that they see a number. So when I'll show you Finger Count in just a bit. If it shows 10 objects on the page, you don't have to put down all 10 of your fingers. You could put down 3 over here, and 3 over here, 3 over here, and 1 in the middle, and you'd still all get 10. So that's kind of cool. Manipulatives are a big thing in helping kids build math concepts. And so we looked for some apps that were good for kids to use at home. And number rods are Cuisinart rods. And do you guys use Cuisinart rods? Yeah? Okay. Cuisinart rods were really big when I was in elementary school, and then they went away for a long time in Canada, and now they're back. So yeah, number rods is great. Cuisinart rods, and you can move them around and combine them and do addition and do partitioning and do fractions, all sorts of really neat things with the number rods app. And the next one is pattern blocks. And pattern blocks for fractions and for geometry and for just generating pattern. Very cool. You can move them all around. The idea is that you wouldn't use these instead of the actual manipulative, but if you have parents who are saying, what kind of work can my child do at home, you could say, hey, just get these apps. And a lot of them are actually free. Geoboard. Lots of fun with geoboards without the elastic shooting across your classroom. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. They go. And so in Geoboard, you can get a little small geoboard or it actually will extend to a larger geoboard. One thing I would like to see them add, and I've actually written to them and said, you know, it would really be nice if you put an isometric geoboard in here too, because then you could actually build, you know, a little bit more upper level work. But, really kind of cool. And the last one, or no, sorry, the second last one, hundreds board. Hundreds board is by my favorite guys, Rubber Chicken Apps. I think I just like the name of their company. And so in 100 boards, you can do all those wonderful activities you do with 100 boards, you know, sequencing numbers, looking for patterns, skip counting. And you can turn the numbers on and off and turn off entire columns, change the colors of the numbers. And it works really well, so you can say to kids, okay, well, look at all these numbers. What do they all have in common? And then get the kids to explain their thinking. But how do they actually know that? And again, by Rubber Chicken Apps, tens frames. And in 10 frame, for those of you who don't teach early primary, you want to teach combinations to 10 as an anchor to 10. And I love the aliens, because you can move the aliens onto the 10 frame, and then you push the button, and all the aliens come home. It's very cool. So lots of cool stuff in there. Intermediate teachers, yay, my people. Intermediate teachers, yeah. Factor Samurai. It's sort of like Fruit Ninja, but for math. And it throws numbers up in the air, and you slice the composite numbers, and you let the prime numbers fall. And it comes with 3 different levels, novice, grasshopper, and master. And I cannot play the master level and talk to somebody at the same time. And again, it supports multi-touch, so you can play with a number of different kids. And then when they slice one, no, don't hit 27. And so they have to actually be able to figure out what makes a number prime, what makes a number composite. So that one's kind of fun. And there's numbers getting sliced in pieces. It's really cool. The best one is when 2 goes by and then they argue. Yeah, that's fun. One of my absolute favorite apps is Motion Math. And it's this icon, because Motion Math makes a bunch of different apps. And some of them are really not very good, but this one's amazing. And it gives you a fraction, and you have to use the accelerometer and tilt your iPad and land that number on a number line. Okay, so the first couple of it, really nice, easy ones. You know, a third, a quarter, an eighth, really nice. And then it gets into like 7/13. So you're like, oh, how big is that? Again, another one I can't talk and play. So it shows the actual numerical representation of the fraction. Then it'll go to a pictorial one, so it'll show you a pi. So you actually have to know what that represents. And then it also goes into percentages and decimals. So depending what level you're playing, it can be rather challenging. If the students can't land the fraction on the line where it goes, on the first bounce, it gives them a second chance. After the second chance, it points an arrow. No, go this way, or no, go that way. And after that, it'll actually separate the number line into sections so they can figure it out. As working with the class, if you're observing your students, it shows how accurate they were by putting stars on the top of the screen. So if the stars go all across the top of the screen, they're very accurate. If the stars are very low on the screen, they're not very accurate. So you know they're playing too difficult a level. So it allows you to adjust that for your kids. But yeah, kids, teachers, particularly grade 7 teachers, love that one. Could just be me. And math doodles. Lovely thing. It starts off with a cute little comic. When I was a kid, I used to think this about math, and it shows all sorts of different calculations. And then it goes on to talk about, well, now I know math is actually this. And so in Math Doodles, there's 4 different apps, and he's working on the 5th one right now. One of my favorite ones is, it's a fly swatter, and it turns around and it smacks the fly. So you have to decide how many degrees of rotation it is, and then you smack it. And it gives you a ratio of how many smacks to how many flies you've actually killed. It's kind of fun. That's just one of them. There's a bunch of other ones in there. And by the same guy is Symmetry Shuffle. And I always had a hard time with my students with rotations, reflections, and translations because they couldn't do them. They'd spend all their time cutting out a triangle and then trying to figure out how to hold it on an axis and rotate it. And it would always slide the wrong way, or it would come off the vertex. And yeah, it was bad. And so in this, it's already on an app, and you can turn them and rotate them and translate them. It's really very, very cool. And the last one is a free one that is, left my head, base 10 blocks. So hundreds, tens, and ones, or ones, tens, and thousands, depending on how you're going to go with it. And they separate, so you can actually combine and show kids when you're decomposing a number what it actually looks like. So lots of really cool apps to have a look at, but I wanted to show you just a few of them and let you see. So let's see if I can make this magic happen. Yes? No. That's the Apple TV, isn't it? Okay, well, let's get on it. Come on. We can do this. There we go. We can do this. 2008. I was on it before, trust me. Mirroring on. Can you see the cutest grandson in the world? No, he's not there. Liam. There he is. He's the cutest grandson in the world. Okay. No, I'm not biased at all. Okay, so here's motion math, because like I told you, it's my favorite. We'll turn the volume up. Okay, so. Oh, the volume's not working. Interesting. I want you to tell me I'm precise. Oh, AV people, can you make the sound come up? Please? I do. Thank you. Oh, I'm not doing well. Yeah, it should be in there. But I missed it. No, it's gone through this box. Maybe it would help if the box was turned on. Oh, the box wasn't on. Let's try it now. It's the wrong kind of connection for that, though. Yep. Yep, because these are RCA. But thank you. I think we're getting help from the back. I'm going to change it to beginner, because that one I can actually play. Okay, so, like I said, it's going to go. There's a half. And oh, thank you. You were right. There we go. And a quarter. See how nice and slow this is? I can do this one. And the stars along the top are telling you how accurate I'm being. And you'll notice your score is actually a fraction as well. So that's kind of cool. So the kids can go through here and show where they estimate their fractions. Oh, precise. I love that. Okay. And if they're really wrong, and if they're really wrong again, I get the numbers, or I get the line cutting part.
Precise.
But you see how far down that star went? Because I didn't hit it. He said precise, but he's just trying to make me feel better. It's not really working. So, yeah, so that was motion math, and that's really kind of a neat way of doing things. And then in finger count, so 3 pumpkins, so I can put my 3 fingers on here. Oh.
3.
Okay. So depending how I see this, I mean, I might see a group of 2, and a group of 3, so I can put down that many fingers. So I'm going to go, well, that's 5, and that's 2 more. Come on. Isn't it? Yes. Yeah, okay. I tried to 7. It didn't like it. Okay, so we go. So I can go like this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I like the Englishman's voice. But can you see those 2 little cogs at the bottom? If you touch the 2 cogs simultaneously, you can actually change it to a U.S. accent, not a Texas accent. I'm sorry.
1, 2.
He's got a nice voice, but I think I like the English guy better. And so different things that we can do. So what I was hoping that we could try, I sent you all the list to have a shot at it. What I wanted to do, whoops, push the right button, Sheila. There you go. What I wanted you to do is to just have a little bit of chance to try them out and talk to the people next to you for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. If you didn't download one, hopefully you're sitting by somebody who did, and you'll have a chance to have a look. And if not, it's only going to be 2 minutes. You can have a little stretchy, okay? So we'll talk about some other ones in just a second. Now I'm going to have a glass of water. How many people did download some of them? Free ones, yeah, definitely. It's all about the free ones. Okay, because if you didn't download them, then we won't play, because there's not a lot of people to play with. Yeah, they are. Yeah. Yeah, I tried to put free ones in every category. Yeah. Because free is good. I like free. Yeah. Can I just have a look and see which ones in the first ones are free? Sure. Yeah. Candy Count is free. Candy Count is free. Geoboard is free. And Number Pieces Basic is free. Thank you. Yeah, he's later on. Hi. I did, to everybody who registered. I sent an email to everybody. Actually, I've sent like 3 emails, but because there you go. I can tell you how to find it, though. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so if you get on your, if you were walking in, if you got on your browser and went to bit.ly, so like bit.ly, bit.ly / I'm going to count by Michelle's typing here as to whether or not you guys are all on board here. So bit.ly / lim, capital L-I-M, my last name, L-I-M, ISTI, capital I, capital S, capital T, capital E, you'll get it. And then hit go. There you go. And then if you download, it'll be there. What did we get wrong, sweetie? Oh, okay, the I and the M need to be lowercase in lim. Capital L. Sorry, I-M. There you go. That'll work. And then you'll find it, yes. Ow. Thank you. Yeah, they basically go 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows. So early primary, manipulatives, intermediate. Yeah, that's why I tried to make it so it would make sense.
Because that's why I try to. I'm not a math person.
Yeah, I can hear those candies hitting the ground. I know you're playing Candy Count. The thing with Candy Count that I really don't like is if I want to use the Jubes or gummy bears, I have to pay for them. I like the free jelly beans. Yeah, you play with jelly beans for free, but if you want Jubes or gummy bears, you got to pay for them. That's not fair. Anybody try anything other than Candy Count? Yeah, you're trying the fresh. What do you think of Factor Samurai? It's hard. It really is hard. People think I'm joking, but no, it's hard. Well, that probably doesn't help either, but you have to be more nimble with your fingers. Okay. I'm going to try to get your attention back. I know it's hard. It's way more fun cutting numbers and pieces. So the next section I wanted to talk to you about was puzzles, because everybody loves a good puzzle. My mother-in-law is in her 80s, and when I go over to her house and I need a break, I give her my iPad and a puzzle app, and she's good for like half an hour. It's great. Yeah, then I can talk to my father-in-law for some fun. So the first one I want to show you is TrainYard. And in TrainYard, you get to drive your train from the station to the train yard, and you have to park it. So you have to look at different paths of getting from one point to another, and different types of tracks. So there's straight track, there's loopy track, and the first couple of levels, really nice and easy. Once you get past the first couple, yeah, it gets really hard. They start putting things like rocks in your way, and then it's not fun. And the trains all have colors, so if you start with a red train and you have to end up with a purple train, you have to figure out what other train you have to run into in order to change the color of the train. Don't run real trains into each other, just FYI. The next puzzle one is Chocolate Fix, which is one that I showed you in the beginning part of the presentation that the kids loved. It has a free version, so that's kind of neat, and it also has a paid version. The only difference is the number of puzzles. Okay, In the paid version, there's 100 puzzles of each level, and you'll be working on those forever. So that one's kind of cool. Slice It is great because it looks at visual spatial. So it gives you a shape and tells you how many slices you can cut it in, or how many slices you're allowed to make to cut it into a certain number of pieces. And the idea is to keep the pieces of similar size. So if you have a triangle and it says cut it into 3 pieces, and you cut one that's this big and one that's this big, you'll fail. And that's good, because then you have to figure out what you have to do to make it to fit better. Okay? So in Slice It, you get all sorts of different levels. There's a free version of Slice It that doesn't really give you very much to work with, but it's a cool little app. Puzzle Retreat. My son got me hooked on this one. And we were actually playing it in the airport on the way down. And I don't know if it was just that we were really tired or what was going on, but really, really educated people sitting here going, I can't get this ice to melt. This is not good. And you're sliding ice back and forth, and it's a fabulous little game. You liked it, didn't you, Kevin? Yeah, it's a fun game to play. And you really have to think of how it's going to work. So that's really kind of cool. And Flow. Flow is free. And you're going to connect the dots of the same color, but you have to use the entire grid. So Flow is a really great problem for little guys when they're starting to develop visual spatial awareness. And so you have to, like I said, connect all the colors the same, but you can't leave any square without a color in it. So you might be able to get from blue to blue and yellow to yellow and green to green and have like 5 other empty boxes. That's not good. You have to use them all. There's another one that's called Flow Bridges that I don't show to kids until after they've sort of mastered Flow, but it puts bridges in, so you can actually go under the bridge and over the bridge, so the colors can cross each other. Because in Flow, the colors can't cross. Yeah, this one's free. Yeah, Flow and Flow Bridges are both free. Yeah, it's really kind of cool. Okay. So if you want to have a chance at a puzzle, like I said, whoops, wrong, don't push buttons. Oh, Sheila, seriously. Okay, well, I'm going to keep putting buttons here. Flow is free. Flow Bridges is free. And on the grid, there was probably another one that was free. Puzzle Retreat is free? Yeah. So give it a shot. Seriously, I apologize for Puzzle Retreat. You will be addicted forever. But it's lots of fun. Okay, so about 2 to play with some puzzles, and then we'll talk puzzles. I could show you, but it's called, sorry? It should look just like this one. It should just look like the same app, but it should say, that's it. Yeah, don't buy the cheats for Flow. That's just not kosher. Yeah, you know it's a good game when there's cheats for it, right? That's probably one that you want to try. That one will be free. And also, because I buy my apps in the Canadian store and you're buying yours from the American store, they might be a little bit different. But yeah, that's Flow. Yeah, give that one a shot. It's just horribly addictive. In all the right kind of ways. If addiction can be good. I can't actually see you people because of that light. Hi. Are you able to give some a try? That's always a pain. Yeah, my husband. Did I turn this off? No. Flow? No playing with hints. That's cheating. Oh, they tell you the answer. That's what they do. Oh, yeah, don't buy more. No. Find an 8-year-old. They'll be all over you. Yeah, find a kid. You'll be fine. Find a kid. You'll be fine. Yep. Chocolate fix. Yeah. Let me put it on. Let me put it on. Chocolate fix. Is that up there? Yeah. Chocolate fix is great. What level are you playing? Easy. Let's play easy. Chocolate fix is great because it gives you the map of the chocolate box, and then you have to put it in. So what I see is that this chocolate has to go in that box, and a square's got to go in that box, and a triangle in that box, and that in there, and a chocolate one in there, and a round one there, and that one there, and that one there. And that's the left, right? That's the left puzzle clue. And then the right puzzle clue, I have to decide where that could be. So I've got a chocolate circle, a dark chocolate circle, and then an empty square, and then diagonally I've got a chocolate. So I have to figure out where that could go. Well, it can't go here, right? Because, well, I guess it could go there. It could go there, because that would be the blank one, and that would be a chocolate one. It can't go there, because there's nothing up there. It can't go in any of these columns, because it takes 2 to go across and 1 up. So it's either got to go there or there. And so the kids have to logic that through as to which one it's likely to go in. So it's either going to go there or there. So because that one's already a circle, I'm guessing it goes there. So let's try that. So that has to be a dark circle, so I'm going to put that one there. And that means that one has to be a chocolate one there. Why didn't that change? Did it change on there? To triangle? No, that's just weird. Oh, it can't go there. Oh, I'm wrong. It can't go there. The reason it can't go here is because if I put that one there, okay, I've got to go that way, and then that one's got to be a dark chocolate, but I've already used my dark triangle chocolate. So it can't go there, which means it has to go here. So this one has to be the dark chocolate circle, and then that one's going to be the dark chocolate triangle, which means that one's going to be the dark chocolate square. I say hopefully. So that one's going to go there, and that one's going to go there. And then I have to look at another circle, and another square, and another mint one, and another circle one. Oh, I've made a mistake. Would you like to persevere? No, I would not like to persevere. Tell me the answer. So it lets you have a chance to have a look at different chances. And instead of saying fail, it says persevere, which is probably a nicer way of saying you failed. Hey, that sounded happy. What was that? Oh, you're playing Puzzle Retreat. Yeah, what level are you on? Oh, okay. Took forever to download. There you go. So puzzles are really important for kids. It helps them create, discussions when they're working. They have to be able to explain their thinking. They have to be able to think logically. And when they come across something that says persevere, they have to figure out what they did wrong and how they're going to adjust that. So puzzles always had a really good place in my room. They weren't necessarily app puzzles because they didn't exist. But lots of fun. Yes, sir?
You put the problem-solving ones next to the categories puzzles, like there's a lot of physics ones where you have to like Rube Goldberg put together devices and think through it.
Yeah, they are. For this, what I did is I separated the sciencey ones from the puzzle ones. But yes, I agree and that's where we're going to get to because they do logically flow from problem-solving visually to problem-solving scientifically. Yeah, which leads us happily to these ones. Good job. Thank you. Geared. Geared is an awesome little app that could be a puzzle. Could be a science app, because what it does is it gives you a drive wheel, and then you have to determine how you're going to take the power from the yellow one and make the blue one turn. And so it gives you a choice of all sorts of different little tiny cogs that you have to put together to make the other one drive. And the kids think this is really easy, because the first couple of levels, they actually give you the ghost image of where to drop them. So it leads them into this false sense of security that they can do this. And then it starts dropping really hard ones on them. And at some point, the gears become horizontal, and then gravity kicks in. So if you drop a little tiny gear in the air between two big wheels, it just falls. And they're like, well, that doesn't work. How are we going to fix that? Again, this is an app that I don't think I would have one student working on. This would be like a cooperative app where they could sit and try to problem solve their way through it. Because, like I said, the first couple levels, really easy. But they get significantly harder as you go along. Simple Physics is another really cool app where you have to construct a bridge using the little short pieces of whatever they're made out of. Let's call them spaghetti. And then you have to get your vehicle across them. And if you don't, it falls. So kids can explore what structures make it more rigid, what allows them just the right amount of flexibility before it collapses. And if it does collapse, you get to start. You get to persevere. You get to start again. So Simple Physics is really kind of cool. Also for little kids, even before they really understand what they're doing, just to let them muck about with it, because they will figure out how to make a bridge. And that's kind of cool. Monster Physics. You got to love the monster. First off, you get to create your own monster, which is kind of fun. And then you're given a series of challenges. You have to fly your monster to certain places. You have to feed your monster. And there are different things that you have to work through. So there'll be a feeding station, but you can't get the food out unless you get this contraption with a claw to come and pick the food up and drop it in front of them. Or it uses pendulums, and it's really cool. I'm not very good at this one, but I thought one of you might be, but I'm not. And the next one is Science 360. Please do not try to get on Science 360 in this room. You will kill us. Instantly kill us. Well, not literally, but the wireless you will. Fabulous, fabulous resource. Amazing images, video, you name it, it's got it. But you'd want to have this on your device on a screen. Or maybe one or two in a classroom. Or maybe one on this wireless and one way down the hall. Because it's very heavy. It sucks your bandwidth like mad. But it's definitely worth it. So when you go back to your hotel, before you check out, get on this, suck their wireless, and it'll all be good. So yeah, it's a fabulous app. The using part of it, yeah. Downloading the app, it doesn't take that long. But when you want to actually see the images, yeah, it's a biggie. Yeah, and you spin it. Yeah. And you click on it, and it comes up live, and it is beautiful. Yeah. So, Daniel, you've used it? Yes. Yeah, it's gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah. It does. The last one on my list is Bill Nye, the science guy. Where would we be? Bill Nye. Yeah, we love Bill. And his app is more of an exploration app of some of the funky things that Bill Nye has done over his career in educating all of us about neat science. And so you go to his lab, you go to Nye Labs, and you get to check out some of his journal or some of the different activities that he's done over the years. It's not really a puzzly kind of app, but it is definitely entertaining because it's Bill Nye. And there's bow ties everywhere. It's really very cool. So with these ones, a lot of them are cost apps, but they're, actually I think Bill's might be free, but they're really very, very cool. So for reference apps, some of the things that we want to talk about with older kids is using their iPad as a retrieval device. So 3D Brain is amazing. I'm an elementary teacher. I am not a senior bi teacher. Anybody a senior bi teacher? Oh, my new friend Daniel. There you go. 3D Brain is great. You can rotate it in 3D and touch on different structures within the brain, and it will give you information that is way more than I can understand. But it's very, very cool. Our secondary teachers just love this one. And then there's the essential skeleton, which I like to play with because you can spin it around and you take bones out and you can learn about all sorts of different things on your skeleton. And it's pretty neat. You can actually isolate different structures. And so instead of looking at an entire skeleton, you can just look at a rib cage or you can look at a clavicle or whatever. Very neat stuff. The next one is Star Walk. And I love Star Walk because where I live, it's often really cloudy. And so you can take Star Walk out and you can go, oh, and you can look up and you can actually see and identify the stars that you're looking at. And back in time and look at all the different constellations and how they've moved across the sky over different centuries. It's really a very neat little app. And multi-measures. One of my favorites. I just finished a session with a group of grade 7 students looking at earthquakes. And they had to build structures to survive an earthquake. And their first question to me was, well, how will we know how big the earthquake was? I have an app for that. This has got a seismometer in it. And so I put it on the table, on my shaker table, and we shook the table. And as we did that, the needle was jumping all over the place for the seismometer. So the kids really got a big kick out of that. It's got a ruler. I'm not exactly sure how to use a ruler on an iPad. I'm sure somebody much brighter than me could figure it out. It's got a protractor. It's got a spirit level, which came in very handy when we were renovating our kitchen and we wanted to know if the counter was level. It was, by the way. A plumb bob and just all sorts of really cool things in it. So that one's really kind of neat. And the last one is iCross with 3 S's, just to be confusing. And it gives you more information about math shapes than you could ever possibly want to know. You can spin them, you can dissect them, you can figure out the number of faces, edges, vertices, the volume, the area, if it was a net. You can put a plane in between it and separate it into different sections, and so you could look at the face of it if you could cut it. It's an awesome, awesome app. Again, way above elementary level, but very cool. So if you were interested in looking at in secondary math, so that would be something that would be really helpful. So with the referencey ones, lots of really cool things to look at. I wanted to show you the iCross because it is my absolute favorite one, and I actually can use that one. So in iCross, these are the choices that you can get. Like I said, more choices than you could ever possibly want. Some of them I can't even say. Yeah, like pentagonal hexacontrahedron. It sounds lovely. I don't know what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Okay, it's a golf ball. There you go. It's a golf ball. So you can. Why didn't they just say golf ball? It would have been so much simpler. That's true. So you can turn it. You can spin it in any rotation that you want or any axis that you want. You can look at one point or different points on it and see where that would be on different planes inside. You can do that. You can look at it in different quadrants. You can separate it. Okay, isn't that awesome? Yeah. You can also change it to regular pencil lines or chalk lines. I dare any of you to draw this on a chalkboard. Go for it. You can also then, whoops, where is he? There he is. That was slice it. I know that sound. In here you can put, and then you can put it back together, and you can favor the ones that you like. And when you're done with it, you can you can actually email it to yourself if you really wanted to. But here it tells me it's a Catalan solid, dual of the snub dodecahedron. Yeah, sure it is. I don't know what that means. But it has 92 vertices, 150 edges, 60 faces, and awesome things. If you were, and you know what? I know math nerds who would just be all over that. Okay. Whoops. Back to Liam. So if you'd like to give one of those a try, that would be really great to have just a few minutes. Kevin, I'm on time. You aren't going to believe that, but I'm on time. So give a chance to have a look at one of those. The I cross with 3 S's, just to be annoying, just when you think you've got it all good. Yeah. Are you a math teacher? I don't know if 5th graders need to know about dodecahedrons. And oh, not down here, man. Well, maybe down here. Oh, that one looks cool. Very neat. I haven't seen that one.
My kids love this one.
Cool. Will you send me that? Yeah, awesome. Thank you. I like your case, too. Come over and hang out with these people. Okay. There you go. Is that one free?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. The light one? Yeah. Sorry? Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's in this one here, in the calendar. So you should be able to go back. Oh, actually, no, it's the clock. Sorry, it's the clock. I'm wrong. Yeah, it's the clock. You can go backwards, up and down that way. So you can see how the constellations have moved. And if you go back, like, zoom, you can see what the stars look like on the night you were born, or the night you were married, whichever you want. Yeah. But, yeah. And it's fun. You know, in Canada, Social Studies 7 talks a lot about Egypt. And so you can set it back and say, okay, so if you were a pharaoh, this is what you would have seen. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. I have not. 10 grams? Love 10 grams. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Do you have to match the colors on those? Oh, crumbs. That was hard. Fabulous. Will you send me that? I will add that to my list of treasure. I've got to have that one because I do have a 10 gram app, but it's not very good. That is awesome. Thank you. Yeah, we may have to get back on there and take it. This one called over here? Tan what, sorry?
I'm sorry, it's less trends.
Less
tans.
Less tans. She's going to add it to me and I'll shoot it to you guys. So one of the best things about being, am I on? I'm on. One of the best things about being in a room with all of you is you all have your own favorite apps. Shoot them to me. Okay? I will shoot them back. Yeah. I mean, that's the best thing, right? I mean, we can't all know, well, we tell our students we know everything, but we all know the real truth, right? We all know the real truth. Okay. So who tried something awesome? Nobody? Just, what did, chocolate fix, yeah? What did you try? Isn't it insane? Yeah, yeah. Things that I have no idea. What do you teach, Jared?
I teach science.
Oh.
Life science.
You teach life science. There's an app for you? Yeah. Awesome stuff. Okay, the last thing I wanted to talk to you about today is sharing. Because really I'm all about sharing. I probably spend more time sharing things than I should and not doing my real work, but that's okay. So for sharing apps, one of my favorites is Explain Everything. And Explain Everything came, the aha moment for me with Explain Everything was in a grade 5 class, in grade 5 life science at home. It's the human body. And so I was in a grade 5 class, and I said, so show me what your unit planning looks like to this teacher. And she brought out the binder. It had to be this thick. And it was all Blackline Masters. And I said, okay, thinking, oh no. I said, so tell me, what does your assessment look like? How do you give the kids feedback? She goes, oh, well, we have tests. Heart sinks. Anyways, so then I said to her, well, I would love to come to your class and do a lesson with Explain Everything, and maybe we can tie it around one of your systems. So we decided digestive system would be the one to do. And so I came in and taught our kids how to use Explain Everything, and we used the pictures on the wall, the textbook, their voices, and their drawings to explain digestion. And then we showed them up on the screen. We used the Apple TV and shot them all up and sat and watched them all and had popcorn and clapped, you know, the whole big celebration thing. Anyways, at one point, two of her little guys, one very beginner ESL. We have a high ESL population in our district, and very beginner ESL young man, smart as a whip, but English was holding him back. And one special needs boy. And they were the only two that nobody else wanted to work with. So, of course, they got together. And I don't think she was expecting very much. Anyways, they decided they would get an apple. So they got an apple, and they ate the apple. So they talked about how their chewing was the first stage of their digestive system. And so they had a picture. I'm chewing an apple, and he's chewing the apple. And went through the whole thing. They knew it all. And I looked at the teacher when we were watching this, and she was crying. She goes, if I'd given those two boys a paper and pencil test, they'd have failed. But because they were able to use their own voice and the pictures in their textbooks and explain everything, they rocked it. So when it comes to assessment, don't forget that you can do something like that. You know? So I hope that that made a change in that teacher's life. We'll see what next year brings. If the binder comes back out, it'll be bad, but there you go. Comic Life is exactly the same as Comic Life on your laptop. Yeah, love Comic Life. Telling stories through Comic Life. Awesome. Find out things that you didn't know your kids knew. Yeah, great little app. Book Creator, another awesome app where you can take pictures. I haven't had a lot of success with the video in it. You're supposed to be able to put video in. Most of the times I've done it, it overlaps and it doesn't work right, so stick with stills. Kids' voices and text. Awesome app, multiple pages. When you're done, you can export them. They go into the iBooks shelf on your iPad, on your device, and then the kids can share each other's books, which was kind of cool. Another thing about Explain Everything, is when the kids were done with their movies, we exported them as MP4, put them in Dropbox, and their parents were able to watch them at home, which was really cool. Haven't been able to figure out how to do that with Book Creator yet, but I'm sure there's going to be a way, if there isn't already, that I just don't know about. You can, but you have to have a device to bring them down. And not a lot of our kids had access to that. Yeah, because it goes as an iBook. No, does it go as? I don't remember what the file it exports out as, but does it? Oh, well, there you go. Thank you. Sketch is great for taking a picture and then adding things to it. Really kind of fun. It's part of the whole Evernote, if you haven't seen Sketch before. And then Coach's Eye. Love Coach's Eye. I met the people. They're here. They're awesome to talk to. We use Coach's Eye in PE class when we're trying to explain to kids that they're not standing properly. And they say, yes, we are. We say, no, you're not. Look, I have a video of you standing here. So you can actually annotate right on the video. You can go backwards and forwards and show kids what they're doing properly or incorrectly. Kind of fun. And the last one is NFB Pickstop. And NFB stands for National Film Board. So that's a Canadian app. And it's really fun because you can do stop motion. And I made a video of a Pepsi can racing across my desk. It was running away from my car keys. It was really kind of fun. And you can adjust the frame rate so you can have it moving really slowly or really quickly. You can put in music out of your iTunes library. And you have lots of fun, lots and lots of fun with Pickstop. And you can't get Pickstop? There's an advantage to being Canadian, yes! There you go. Well, when y'all come, oh God, I said y'all. When you come to Canada, log into the Canadian iTunes store, download it, and then come home. Yeah, so when you're taking your trip through Vancouver, because you really have to take a trip through Vancouver. Lots of fun. So it is all about the sharing of apps and of content, because we really want the kids to be creators of content. We don't want them just to be consumers. If all they're doing is sitting in front of an iPad and, absorbing stuff, we don't want them to do that. And I think we are, I've been talking too much. Okay, so really, at the end of the day, you're their best app. We had T-shirts made up for the helping teachers in our district. There are about 25, 30 of us. And so we decided that, realistically, when it comes down to us, it's us as a community of educators that really is going to make the difference with these devices in classrooms. It's not all the cool things that we can do. It's us. And we showed this at our session on Sunday, and somebody said, where do you buy that T-shirt? And we're like, oh, we should have made it. We could have sold them and paid for our trip. But anyways, yeah, so really it is you. And when you are using apps with your kids, just make sure that what you're doing is to your standards and that you're working well. And so how to get in touch with me. This is me. You can find me at lim_s at surreyschools.ca. That's my district email. Or you can get me on Twitter. And trust me, it's Sheila spelled funny. I will blame my parents forever. It's Irish Gaelic, just if you're wondering. And then Lim is Chinese, just to totally mess up the world. So yes, so Sheila09. I'm very happy to be one of the Apple Distinguished Educators. And before you go, there's how to get the handout. And if you wouldn't mind filling out the session survey thing, let me know how I did. And have a safe trip home. Bye.